16 days of the most glorious competition has been concluded. On the world's greatest sporting stage, it is done and dusted. It is all but over, but the memories will last forever, and our hearts are full with what we've been able to witness here at Tokyo 2020. A year on, certainly no dreams denied, not at these games. We're just about set for the closing ceremony of Tokyo 2020, where a handover for France's Paris 2024 edition will take place as well. But we'll also look back at some of the startling memories of these games. I have to ask very first and foremost, this was set to be one of the most challenging games in the world. How sport found a way.
Sport did find a way, the athletes found a way, the coaches found a way, the National Olympic Committees, and so too the host nation, Japan. They were superb in hosting these Olympic Games. They were an Olympic Games with a difference, but we have seen some absolute sublime sporting events.
We have indeed, and certainly this was disappointing for not having fans available, but it was an athlete-centric Games.
Welcome to the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. Today is a moment of hope. Finally, we are all here together. We can only go faster. We can only aim higher. We can only become stronger if we stand together.
私はここに第32回近代オリンピアードを記念する東京大会の開会を宣言します。
We have two balls. Possible. It depends if you go decide on example.
gosh. I did it. Finally. Did you see me? Did you see Daddy?
com essa prova. Aí Romeiro desfeinado. A Venezuela em busca dos 4,60. Não consegue. A barra para ali, derrubou a barra. Na primeira tentativa, as duas. Sempre lembrando. Cadê a primeira vez? Romenos. Errou menos. Agora. Ó, Juliana tentou. 1, 2, 3,
well,
4,
what
5,
a
6, 7.
Olympic Games it has been. 16 days, glorious competition, and so athlete-centric, and that has got to be one of the thrills of these games. Much was made about the fact that this was being hosted during one of the most challenging times. This a games of defiance, of resilience, and certainly of extraordinary effort, and a testament to human endeavor at a time of global challenges beyond almost any in living memory.
The athletes here, especially after you rewatch that, they just generated all the energy. I mean, we realized there weren't going to be crowds, but in the end that turned out to be one more obstacle, but not changing anything that we saw in the performance. It just goes back to me that always, in the end, the root of all this is the competition. And I think of probably every one of these athletes at some point, whether it's their first competition was in their schoolyard or their backyard, was just racing their buddy to that tree. Something that simple, but the essence of it was that competition. And there was nobody there. You just did it because that's what you wanted to do, and that was fun. And I think that comes through here. The crowds are wonderful, and they will be missed, and I can't wait for them to be back in Paris. But in the end, it's the athletes and the competition that will always carry the Olympics in sport.
I agree with you, John. Some of the performances that I saw as well, given the preparation that the athletes had over the last 18 months, they weren't about the record books, they weren't about the fastest times ever recorded. They were about competing, and some of the great performances that came from that. And Dwayne, seeing some of those performances that really made your heart sing, that came from the clouds. And I think of one straight away in the swimming pool where I was based for most of the Olympic Games, and that was Ahmed Hafnoui from Tunisia, winning the 400 freestyle from lane number 8. And of course, they've had Osama Malouli, who has won a gold medal from Tunisia in 1500 freestyle before, but just came from the clouds.
I think it's those moments, those little historic firsts that generate the additional excitement, because you're not expecting to see San Marino win their first ever Olympic medal and then win another 2 at these games, and you're thinking this is incredible, because now nearly 0.001% of the entire population are Olympic medalists in San Marino. Yes, I'm getting a little ridiculous with the statistics, but the point is these are historic moments at these games. And to be hosting them at a time as challenging as this was utterly incredible. But again, you go back to the welcome that the world received in Tokyo, and you talk about the hospitality of our hosts, going back across 16 days of competition and the build-up to it as well. The volunteers, the games makers, the individuals behind the scenes, they made this extraordinary.
They made it extraordinary for every athlete. They made it extraordinary for every person who was lucky enough to be here in some capacity, and they made it safe for everybody to be here. And it was all around, whether it was certainly the first tip of the cap goes to everybody that helped keep it safe, everyone that was involved in the testing, everybody that was involved in any kind of health and safety protocol. But it was also the same for anybody that any bus you got on to get here, anybody that was at a gate, anybody that checked you through screening, anybody that was here with hand sanitizer. It was nothing but hellos and thank yous, and we're glad you're here, and smiles constant, even behind the masks, right? You could always see the smiles.
One of the moments that I loved as well, when you talk about the volunteers that have made this happen, was every night as aquatics finished, the volunteers at the Tokyo Aquatic Centre would line the streets for the athletes' bus to travel from the aquatic centre back to the Olympic Village. And they would line the streets and they would clap. They would stand on the streets and clap. Just incredible, the atmosphere that they created as well. Here at the Olympic Games, there was just over 50,000 volunteers, or field cast as they call them. and the legacy that has been left for Tokyo as well, hosting these Olympic Games. 1964 was their previous Olympic Games, water polo being played at that 64 venue, and then a new Olympic venue, the Tokyo Aquatic Centre, that was the home of aquatics, that was just so remarkable. We sit here waiting for the commencement of the closing ceremony and this venue, and the sustainability as well, Dwayne, that they tried to put through everything that they did here as a host nation, from the medals that were created through recycled electronics, to the athletes' beds made of cardboard.
Yes, some of which we might not talk about, because athletes were given a little more freedom in terms of what they could play around with on social media, what they could post on social media, and how they could interact on social media as well. And I know some took to testing those beds.
Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez vous lever pour son Altesse impériale, le prince héritier Akishino, accompagné du président du Comité international olympique, Thomas Bach, champion olympique d'escrime 1976.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for His Imperial Highness Crown Prince Akishino, accompanied by the President of the International Olympic Committee, Thomas Bach, Olympic champion, fencing, 1976.
As we welcome the dignitaries to the beginning of the closing ceremony of the 32nd Olympiad here in Tokyo 2020. His Imperial Highness and Thomas Bach.
Mesdames et messieurs, le drapeau national du Japon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national flag of Japan.
日本国旗の入場です。
Le drapeau est porté par.
The flag is carried by.
日本国旗を運びますのは
Champion olympique, judo.
Olympic champion, judo.
柔道金メダリスト
Takato Naohisa.
高藤直久さん。
Deux fois championne des Jeux olympiques de la jeunesse, breaking.
Two-time Youth Olympic Games champion, breaking.
ダンススポーツブレイキンユース大会金メダリスト
Kawai Ramu.
河合ラムさん。
Championne olympique, natation.
Olympic champion, swimming.
競泳金メダリスト
Ohashi Yui.
大橋悠依さん。
Médecin.
Doctor.
医師
Yokota Hiroyuki.
横田博之さん。
Médaillé olympique, gymnastique artistique.
Olympic medalist, artistic gymnastics.
体操メダリスト
Kitazono Takeru.
北園丈さん。
Mannequin.
Fashion model,
モデル
Amane.
天音さん。
A lovely touch, acknowledging a medical doctor, given what the world is facing. So not only representing Olympics, Paralympics, but also the medical world that is really helping everybody to cope through a unique situation.
And one of the athletes there will get their chance to shine in the Olympics come Paris in 2024. There's a break dancer as they bring the flag of the rising sun over to self-defense forces, where it will be raised again here in the Olympic Stadium. In addition to athletics, they do honor and tradition and pageantry here like nowhere else in the Olympics as well.
Veuillez vous lever pour l'hymne national du Japon. Le drapeau est hissé par les représentants des forces japonaises d'autodéfense.
Please stand for the national anthem of Japan. The flag will be raised by the representatives of the Japan Self-Defense Forces.
皆様ご起立ください。日本国歌の演奏です。日本国旗の掲揚は自衛隊の代表により行われます。
さ
The Takarazuki Theatre Company is one of the few theatre companies in the world that are all female. They've been fascinating audiences for over 100 years.
An entrance of the flags, the nations taking part at these Olympic Games, the Games of the 32nd Olympiad.
Mesdames et messieurs, les drapeaux des comités nationaux olympiques participant aux Jeux Olympiques de Tokyo 2020.
Ladies and gentlemen, the flags of the participating National Olympic Committees on the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games.
東京2020オリンピック参加選手団の旗の入場です。
205 nations, and then you have the refugee team represented as well. They marched under the Olympic flag here.
And this parade of nations is wonderful. It doesn't have the same formation as an opening ceremony. The idea of all of the athletes marching together started back in 1956 at the Olympic Games in Melbourne, when a young Chinese man wrote to the organising committee, John Ian Wing, asking that the athletes just all march together to show a unity of the world.
And that really has been one of the standout points, the united by emotion aspect of it. There are so many athletes we could talk about. There are so many athletes we would love to talk about, no doubt. You have your own favourites. You've picked up moments that have been so spectacular, so splendid, that they will live in your memories forever. We've experienced them at every Games, and very much a case of faster, higher, stronger. But more importantly, at these Games, together at a time when we are meant to be apart. This has been extraordinary. The flags making their way out. We touch on individuals carrying flags. Japan's Ryo Kyuna, one of the karateka who went on to win the men's kata gold medal. France's Stephen Da Costa, who won the men's gold in the kumite under 67. The next hosts, France, their flag will be part of this ceremony as they host Paris 2024.
Saw Italy walk in with Lamont Jacobs. The Italians, as I was in this stadium for 8-9 nights covering athletics, to come through Jacobs with the win in the 100 meters and then the 4x1, but in all 5 different Italian gold medals, including the fabulous moment we saw where he and Martinez Bashur shared the gold medal. And it was as simple as Barshim asking the official, can we have 2?
Isn't that wonderful?
And they said, sure. And so it was that he and Tambiri each have one.
63 nations won gold medals, and a total of 86 nations won medals at these 32nd Olympic Games. Great Britain's flag is being carried by Laura Kenny, Great Britain's most successful female Olympian. Her husband, Jason Kenny, won his 7th Olympic Games gold medal in cycling just this evening, and he has 9 medals in total.
So the flag of Indonesia is among those making its way out. A historic badminton gold medal for the nation that won 5 medals at these Games. We saw Estonia the flag making its way into the venue as well. Maika Luibo, the decathlete who is carrying the flag for the Estonian.
And carrying the colors for the Netherlands is Safan Hassan, and you wonder, how does she have the strength to carry it after 5 races? A gold medal at 5,000, a gold medal at 10,000. She won bronze at 1,500. She's certainly the most worked athlete, the most challenged athlete physically in what was happening here over the course of the 9 days of athletics. And she was terrific, and she has the honor of carrying the flag for the Netherlands.
Well, the USA won the medal tally in terms of overall medals and also gold medals. Only just, though, China were very close behind with 38 gold medals to the USA's 39. Caleb Dressel, Katie Ledecky in the pool doing remarkable things. They also won 7 gold medals at the athletics, so an incredible performance by the USA.
And you saw go by the flag of Kenya, carried by Timothy Cheruiyot, who won the silver in the men's 1500, which is still waylaid my co-host to my right over what happened there. But we will see the Kenyan flag raised twice during this closing ceremonies as we celebrate their victories in the marathon.
I'm going to stay in East Africa because I've spotted Perez Chemutai with the Ugandan flag. And Perez Chemutai, how sensational to win Uganda's first gold medal at these games, when everybody thought Joshua Cheptegei would be the first. He went on to win a gold medal, but not before Chemutai could win the women's 3,000-meter steeplechase gold.
And right in front of me, I see Grenada's flag held by Kirani James, who medaled for the third straight Olympics. He now has the full set, the silver. Last time, gold from 2 games ago, and this time it is a bronze. And believe me, that meant as much to him as anything after all he had to come physically just to get on the track here in Tokyo.
Overcoming Graves' disease, but the man is an absolute genius. We both are overwhelmed by his ability, and indeed,
there it is.
Youth Olympic, a youth champion, a junior champion, a world champion, and an Olympic champion. Now he's got the full set of medals as well. He is one of the outstanding athletes. There's the flag of Jamaica. Elaine Thompson-Herah, the only female athlete to ever win the 100-200 sprint double twice now, following up her success from Rio 2016.
And Brazil, they had a great Olympic Games as well, and carrying their flag is Rebecca Andrade, and she won vault gold in artistic gymnastics and silver in the all-around. So a wonderful time for Brazil, also winning the women's marathon swimming as well.
I see the flag of Zimbabwe being carried by the only man to qualify for the golf competition, Scott Vincent, who had his wife Kelsey carrying his bag for the week. It was a family affair, so to speak. That's one way to keep family together and make it a family affair.
Carrying the flag for Fiji, Rusila Nagusu, as the Fijians, the men win the gold in rugby sevens, the women win the bronze medal in that event. And I admit that I am a novice when it comes to rugby, but to win those medals for Fiji has to make that entire country explode with pride.
Absolutely. It is. They've now won a total of 3 Olympic medals, all in sevens rugby. The men's team back-to-back golds in Rio and here in Tokyo, but the women's team, they came within inches of toppling eventual champions New Zealand in that semi-final. It was decided in extra time. But we see Australia's Keegan Palmer as well won gold in the men's park skateboarding. He defeated the world #1 skater, Reynolds of the United States. We saw first-time sports making a big splash, so to speak, among them surfing. Brazil's first champion at Tokyo 2020 coming in the surfing. The world champion Italo Ferreira went on to win the gold medal, and then Carissa Moore of the United States claiming the gold medal in the women's, just edging out the 17th seeded Bianca Buitendam of South Africa.
And skateboarding was a new sport here in Tokyo as well. Japan won 3 gold medals in skateboarding. Australia's Keegan Palmer won the men's as the host nation comes into the arena. They had a wonderful Olympic Games as well, winning both the baseball and the softball, defeating the USA with the same scores, 2-0 Japan over the USA.
and Sunny Lee.
Go to the Philippines. The Italian has done it. Gold for Japan.
Mesdames et messieurs, les athlètes des Jeux Olympiques de Tokyo 2020.
Ladies and gentlemen, the athletes of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games.
東京2020オリンピック参加アスリートの皆さんです。
Now, the athletes are making their way in, but they are not coming in any particular order. Instead, while they are socially and physically distancing where practical, they're making their way in no particular order alongside one another. There's an encouragement to make new friends, to embrace other cultures, to embrace other individuals, and get a taste of the cosmopolitan atmosphere of what is this great, incredible spectacle.
All the stress is off now, right? We've finally gotten through. We can take our focus and divert it from our training, from our competition, and we can enjoy, and it's sort of the difference between the welcoming atmosphere of the opening ceremonies to the celebration that is the closing ceremony.
The athletes are entering the arena from 4 different entrances as they are welcomed by this host of volunteers that have been just so instrumental in the success of these Olympic Games. And if you look at the volunteers' outfits on their costumes, it actually has the image of people holding hands to show the unity of the world during what is the Olympic Games.
And much like in the opening ceremonies, where because of some of the protocols, where usually you'd have 11,000 athletes eligible to march, there was only about 5,000. Same here, it's about half of the 11,000 plus athletes, maybe not quite 5. Requirements after your competition was that you had to leave Japan and return home, but all of these athletes have competed in the past few days and are still able to be here and partake in this fabulous celebration between their countries and all the other athletes that are here at the Games.
Well, you're not only making lifelong memories, you're making lifelong friends, and there are very many proud athletes displaying their Olympic medals, gold, silver and bronze. And there are a few who might be a little more popular than others, so to speak, posing for selfies, posing for photographs, and I dare say that if you went and looked up various hashtags on social media, you would see pictures of these athletes as they mingle with one another. Let me see your medal. What does it feel like? How was the experience for you? There are so many questions that get asked and answered in this very moment. Of course, there is the opportunity to capture this moment for all posterity in your device, your mobile device, and share it with the world. The flag of Mexico with the great eagle with a snake in its beak and its talons sitting on the cactus plant near a water source. The story of Tenochtitlan and its significance to modern-day Mexico.
Well, the organisers of the closing ceremony wanted to make sure that this was a casual affair. You'll see that it's now transformed into looking like a park or grass. Tokyoites love nothing more in the evening than going down to the local park or on the weekend. So they wanted to transform this closing ceremony arena into something that replicated that. There's been so many obstacles and so many things that they've had to overcome to be here and to have success. And now is their time to relax, celebrate, and enjoy this moment.
You saw the athlete there showing his medal, but for so many people here, it can go beyond the medal. You see that, Nicole, in the pool, right? To make an Olympic final is special. Or to come to the Olympics and set a personal best at the time that it's required. There are a lot of different ways to measure success at the Olympics, and it's not always just that top three.
I just have to note Samuel Tachi, the Ghanaian boxer who won his country's only gold, carrying the Black Star flag of Ghana. West African colours. There's Team Malaysia. Don't you just love the colours of the tiger? It doesn't matter where you're from, whether it's Romania or New Zealand or Ukraine or Grenada or Ethiopia. There is Ethiopia. Solomon Borrega
brought in their flag.
Wow.
Fantastic run to win the men's 10,000 meters.
Well, it also shows the diversity of the Olympic Games as we hear the eclectic mix of music in the background on the big screens within the Olympic Stadium. It's actually showing interactivity with people at home watching, waving their particular flags. You see that in the background there, and that's been a feature of these Olympic Games, to have athletes come up to the video wall and be able to talk to their families and celebrate.
Yes, the broadcast innovations have been absolutely spectacular, and it's one thing that we will undoubtedly touch on. It has brought an absolutely new dimension to broadcasting worldwide, and you've got to think, where to from here? My word, did you see the collection of pins? It is. That is certainly one of the activities that's become more of a hobby for some.
Oh, I think it might be its own Olympic sport.
It might be. It might be. Oh, hint, hint, Los Angeles. Or maybe introduce it in Australia, Brisbane 2032. A games that was announced. Host nation Brisbane 2032.
Just such a celebration of the global nature, right? That this is for the world, but it's done by the world. It takes everybody to make these memories, these celebrations, these races, these competitions.
Didn't Italy have a great Olympic Games in totality?
They had a great 2 minutes.
They did. The Azzurri, when they won the 100 on the track and then right into the high jumper's arms within 2 minutes of each other was... And then they backed it up. They kept going. You thought maybe that would be the high point. And they won more.
Well, so many countries excelled at these games. And so, right, it's not only about the medals of the medalists, it's about the participants. I mean, Team India had one of the most extraordinary Olympic Games. And one of the best performances, in my view, is at the golf. Aditi Ashok managing to finish fourth. World number 200 finished fourth in the women's golf competition behind the world number 1, major champion Nelly Korda of the United States, behind the world number 28, buoyed by performing in front of her home nation in Inamimone, and indeed behind Lydia Ko, who is now the only two-time women's medalist in women's golf, the New Zealander who finished third, former world number 1 and current world number 11. But for Aditi Ashok, an extraordinary games, and of course celebrations of an athletics gold as well in the men's javelin.
If we go from the athletics to the Russian Olympic Committee and their dominance of artistic swimming, winning their 6th consecutive team artistic swimming gold medal, and Svetlana Romashina winning her 7th individual gold medal. She's got no silvers, no bronze, so she equals Usain Bolt as having the clean slate of 7 gold.
Russian Olympic Committee also, both their men's and women's team take silver in the 3x3 basketball. And as much as winning Olympic medals can put you in the line of succession of greatness that you add to that tradition, there's something about being the first line of history as the debut sport here, 3x3 basketball. When they look it up, you'll see the United States women and the Lithuanian men as the first winners of that gold medal, and you start now the tradition, which is certainly something that is special to those athletes.
Just saw Lesotho make their way into the venue as well, and the athletes Nehen Khatala, who placed 20th in the women's marathon, among the small delegation that was sent to Tokyo 2020.
That Have we spotted Kiribati yet? That's what I'm really looking for. Have you looked? Have you seen the flag?
I have not seen. I've seen the Kiribati flag.
Okay, good.
Tell us about Kiribati, though. Are you going to tell us something more?
What would you like to know about
Kiribati?
Hey, it's the last night. Empty the bucket. Whatever you got, we'll take.
Do you want to go along the lines of the breakdancing weightlifter? He might not have been able to lift his weight, but he's become an internet meme and sensation for his dancing off the stage. But yeah, I think my favorite about Kiribati is still that it's the only country in the world to exist in all 4 hemispheres, north, south, east, and west. Having first sent someone to the Olympic Games in 2004, and they have competed at every game since. What else would you like to know about Kiribati?
No, we knew you'd have it.
All I am talking about right there. That is terrific. It's
from the Pacific Ocean, an island nation. I'll stop.
There you go. What do you need to know about America? United States of America. There's 50 states. Probably knew that.
And how many Olympians from Wisconsin?
Well, how many gold medalists from Alaska?
At least one.
At least one, with Lydia Jacoby winning the 100 meters breaststroke. We talk about performances from the clouds. All of Alaska, a lot of daylight up there. All of Alaska was cheering her on.
I think I can count at least 6 and a couple of medalists in there. Kenny Bednarek in the men's 200. Molly Seidel, who we'll see get her medal here tonight after her performance in the marathon as well.
I want to go to a couple of the less fancied nations as well, while we will talk about the United States topping the medal standings again, and Japan, of course, the host nation, improving on its record for the most goals at a single Olympic Games. It's 27 gold medals, 11 more than their previous best of 16 in 1964. Turkmenistan, San Marino, and Burkina Faso all claiming their first medals at the Olympic Games. I mean, Polina Gurieva of Turkmenistan claiming silver in weightlifting. Alessandra Pirelli taking home the bronze in shooting. And Hugues Fabrice Zango, who recently broke the men's triple jump indoor world record, found himself winning the bronze medal in the men's triple jump here.
It took him a minute to get over that. He was a little disappointed, but it was their first medal, and I believe might have been the first African long jump medal.
Yeah.
It was, he was phenomenal. For the men, yes.
You get a sense of the celebration of the dance. There's a carnival atmosphere here. We might not be in Rio, but we've got a sense of carnival here undoubtedly.
And it's you kind of get a feel for who the celebrities of the games are, right? By who people go find a picture with.
Oh, yes.
You know, we want to go, I don't know if he's out there, but like if Kevin Durant comes out from the U.S. basketball team, he'll have a line, well, circling the stage.
I think Hidilyn Diaz of Philippines as well, she has been so celebrated for becoming the first gold medalist in the history of her country's participation at the Olympic Games. 97 years Philippines have been competing at the Olympic Games. She won their first gold medal. Oh, there we go.
Argentina had a good Olympic Games. They won 3 medals. They took a silver in the women's hockey and a bronze in the men's rugby.
Oh, flag of Portugal. Collecting signatures, are we? Oh, who is this? Come on, Nicole.
I love it when you put me on the spot.
So I'm learning a little Japanese. Arigato, which is effectively thank you. Konnichiwa, a greeting. That's this lovely theme of the Olympic green. Very much a popular activity in Japan. This is all about the photos.
Yep.
Mexican memories. South African flag in the background. Team USA displaying gold.
Some of those golds just landing this afternoon. Well, today and the last day of competition, basketball, women's basketball.
Yes, Sue Bird, gold medal number 5.
Yep, she and Diana Taurasi.
Now, Nicole.
So the Australians are starting to party. The closing ceremony uniform, the green gold, and mixed in there with some white.
And a little bit of France as well. You saw a moment ago the next host nation, France. How excited they will be in 3 years' time to host a new great medal tally. France had some big moments in Tokyo 2020. you might consider that a country like Qatar would have an incredible moment of celebration as well, with the likes of Faris Ibrahim Melbach went on to win gold in the weightlifting, and I think Bermuda's triathlon gold medalist has been particularly popular in Flora Duffy. Oh, what a gold medal that is.
The Australians in this stadium over the 9 days of track and field. We always see the prowess in the pool, but they were so good in track athletics and across so many disciplines, whether it was we had high jumpers and heptathletes, and then the 800-meter runner was fantastic, and they had a sprinter that went 10:01. It was across the board, Australia, terrific in athletics.
Well, terrific across the whole Olympic Games. It's actually their best performance in totality at an Olympic Games, with 17 gold, 7 silver and 22 bronze, finishing 6th on the medal tally. So a lot of pride for the Down Under nation. New Zealand also had a fabulous Olympic Games.
Mongolia. Well, this is a nation that loves to compete at the very highest level, very good at wrestling in particular.
And their 3-on-3 women's basketball team, the first team that Mongolia's ever sent to the Olympic Games. And even though they didn't win a game, but they competed so hard and so well that they will continue. They're national heroes before this, and they will come home to even more glory.
And here are the host nation, Japan, entering the arena. They had such great success in these Olympic Games, 27 gold medals, as I mentioned before. As the official party watch on, they won the baseball, they won the softball. They had 9 gold medals in judo. Ohashi Yui, winning 2 gold medals in the swimming pool, had the honour of bringing out the Japanese flag. Table tennis, fencing, boxing, karate, men's gymnastics as well.
I'm looking at some of these pin collections that I am in awe. I didn't know so many were made. Japan, with a host of successes, of course, as the host nation, so incredibly hospitable to all those who've made their way, but to surpass their record of 16 with 27 gold medals in Tokyo, a phenomenal event. But most medals won in a single Olympic Games is certainly not only for Japan. Italy have never won more than the 40 they picked up at these games. Netherlands picked up 36 of these games. New Zealand with 20, although Lisa Carrington would have a lot to do with that gold medal tally. Chinese Taipei picked up 12 medals in total. Greece water polo team, they would have only just been out of the pool.
No warming down for them, straight to the closing ceremony. Well, what is an Australian team without a giant boxing kangaroo of the inflatable type?
I was going to say, you're going to play into it. Lean into it.
Some of the South American delegations are fantastic.
It is just like one giant exhale. Doesn't it feel that way?
For so many, it would very much be the case. I mean, you look at the German delegation and Isabel Wirth, becoming just the 3rd athlete to claim gold at 6 different Olympic Games after Birgit Fischer, the great canoeist and fencer, Alada Gerovic, the Hungarian fencer.
Synchronized swimming or artistic swimming, Japanese team, they finished 4th in the duet and in the team event.
When are we going to talk about Allyson Felix?
Right now, it feels.
Can we?
Any time you would like. What a performance by her. Individually, she wins the bronze in the Open 400, and then they call it the goodbye gold as she won in what was a super team of 4x4, but is now she was the most decorated track and field woman. She is now the most decorated track and field athlete of all time in U.S. history, passing Carl Lewis. 11 medals. This is her last Olympics, but afterward didn't rule out running the World Championships next year because they'll be in Eugene, Oregon, and a chance to run a global competition on your home soil might keep you active for one more year.
But the story of coming back from maternity leave and making her way to the global stage once again and to the top tier on the global stage, phenomenal. Only Paavo Nurmi has won more athletics medals than Alison Felix. She is #2 on the all-time list and #1 in the women's category. Caleb Dressel in the pool. You have to mention his performances. Adam Peaty, the beast.
Yeah, Great
Incredible.
Britain were very, very good in the swimming pool. Tom Daly winning gold in the synchronised diving and taking bronze individually.
Ariana Titmus, you must mention. I think we have to talk about Emma McKeon. We have to talk about Tatjana Schoenmaker in the pool.
Schoenmaker was one of my favourite things to see at the swimming pool, winning the 200 metres breaststroke and smashing the world record. Emma McKeon from Australia winning 7 medals in 1 Olympic Games, and that adds to her already 4 gold. Medals that she has, so 11 in total, but 4 of them here were gold. Just incredible. Kaylee McEwen also winning 3 gold medals in that Australian swimming team.
I love how the competition always produces the new stars. We talk about Alison Felix and certainly her last ones, but here's Sydney McLaughlin. Here's a Thing Mo at 19 years old to win a double gold medal. And you think the times can't get lower, and how do you replace Michael Phelps or somebody like that? And someone comes through and the games and the swimmers or the athletes and whatever the discipline, they never disappoint. They just continue on. It's always remarkable, the regeneration of new stars.
We haven't really mentioned China. They finished 2nd on the medal tally for gold medals and also overall medals. They had such a great Olympic Games. They dominated the diving. They won every gold medal on offer, except for that synchro gold medal that Great Britain won. They won 7 gold medals in the weightlifting, and they picked up gold medals in artistic gymnastics, badminton. They won a couple in the pool as well. Shooting, table tennis, windsurfing, fencing, rowing. Did I get them all?
And indeed, the very first medal, gold medal of the Olympic Games, was won by Young Chun, who went on to win the 10-meter air rifle. That was the very first medal dished out at these games. No, that's just showing off.
That is one of the Ukraine synchronized swimmers, and in fact, that was one of the lifts in their team performance.
Wait, so they can do that in the water too?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's absurd.
8 swimmers in total, pushing them up in the air. It becomes acrobatics. It's incredible.
Ladies and gentlemen, the athletes!
Well-deserved applause for everyone here who came, who participated, who went stronger, higher, and faster.
From the beautiful dancing and colours swirling together, representing the many colours of the world's flags, and the athletes of the world coming together in this moment. See the light being emitted from the athletes on the field. Passion, the dedication, the hopes and dreams. Rise up, representing the Olympic spirit that lives within all of us. take this moment to remember the many people that have contributed to make these Olympics possible, both near and far, and those that couldn't be with us in Tokyo. This is the Tokyo Star Paradise Orchestra. Just getting everybody in the mood.
You guys would be great to book for a wedding. Fantastic.
One of the great efforts that they made in Japan was 10 years ago after the Great East Japan earthquake. They held concerts for charity to, as part of its efforts to raise funds for those affected by the earthquake and tsunami.
Continuing on with the park theme that Nicole had touched on earlier here.
Well, also about the future as well, as we see some of these fabulous performers. The Tokyo Metropolitan Katakura Senior High School Brass Band is also out there.
It's a reimagining of the classic sukiyaki by one of Japan's most iconic singers, Sakamoto Kyo. Remembered for that beaming smile and countless hits all over the world. This is his timeless masterpiece that continues to be sung all around the world.
They were fabulous.
Days of competition, everything is so tense, it's so taut, and there's so much riding on it, and it's just all melted away. And everybody gets to enjoy having been an Olympian.
Amanda, an iconic reimagining, and then DJ Matsunaga, known as the world's best DJ. Here he is.
I reckon most athletes fancy themselves as DJs as well.
Oh, yes. A little bit of turntabling, some scratching, no problem. But to do it effectively as this man, another story. He is an Olympian of table turning.
That is yet to be on the official program.
It does, but this could be an exhibition. There are exhibition sports. But a man who has done so much for the world of hip-hop and indeed raising the profile of DJs.
It's a skill.
And now, Mile, a singer-songwriter from Tokyo who spent her teenage years in Canada, launched her music career in 2018. Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra and all of the performers.
Fits the title, Ode to Joy.
One of Beethoven's most famous pieces that's become an international symbol of hope and unity and fellowship, certainly across borders.
Best athletes in the world. We've just seen them over 16 days. They're still excited to get their picture on the Jumbotron.
There's a competition to see who can make the most elaborate or outrageous exit, it seems, of these performers. A little double Dutch rope skipping.
Hard to beat the dude in the hat.
Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez vous lever pour l'hymne national de la Grèce.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Greece.
皆様、ご起立ください。ギリシャ国歌の演奏です。ご着席ください。
Mesdames et messieurs, la cérémonie des vainqueurs des marathons.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the marathons.
ただいまよりマラソンの表彰式を行います。
After the symbol of the link between the games of antiquity and those of the modern era, with the playing of the Greek national anthem,
メダリストをお迎えください。
it's now time for two poignant medal ceremonies.
Last two sets of medals of the games. Here. Appropriate, right? The marathon, given how its foot is very much with the Athenians. A 26-mile run to announce victory.
Mesdames et messieurs, la cérémonie des vainqueurs du marathon femmes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory
So the first
ceremony for
medals
the
to be
women's
presented at the
marathon.
closing ceremony. The women's marathon final.
Les
Tremendous
médailles seront
race.
remises par
The medals will be presented by
メダルの贈呈は
Monsieur Thomas Bach, président du Comité international olympique,
And the honour of presenting the
champion
medals,
olympique, escrime,
President of the
1976.
International Olympic Committee, Thomas
President
Bach.
of the International Olympic Committee, Olympic champion, fencing, 1976.
国際オリンピック委員会会長1976年大会フェンシングオリンピックチャンピオン
Accompagné par
Accompanied by
続きまして
Lord
Lord Sebastian Coe is also accompanying Thomas Bach for the presentation. President of Athletics.
World Athletics Legend, Great Britain, Olympian, 2 gold medals, 2 silver medals.
バーターセティ会長、英国オリンピアン、金メダル2、銀メダル2。
Well, it was a fight right to the end, the women's marathon. Nothing separating these 3 medalists.
United States of America.
Molly Seidel from the USA, running just her 3rd marathon, takes the bronze medal, a time of 2 hours 27.46.
Look at those smiling eyes, huh?
She was just a 1/10 of a second behind the silver medalist and 0.26 behind the gold medalist. It's been an amazing journey for her. She was working 2 jobs in the lead up to the trials, the US Olympic trials. She was working as a barista and also babysitting to make ends meet. She went into the marathon at the US trials thinking that this would be a good opportunity for top 10 and found herself on the Olympic team.
Bridget Kosgei.
Well, Bridget Kosgei is 27 years of age. She's the silver medalist. She's the world record holder for marathon at 2 hours 14.04. She recorded a time here of 2 hours 27.36. She started running because school was 10 kilometres away and she never wanted to be late for school. She's now the mother of twins, Faith and Brian, and the silver medalist in the women's marathon.
Coax her back up there.
Médaille d'or et championne olympique, Kenya.
Gold medalist and Olympic champion, Kenya.
金メダリスト、オリンピックチャンピオン、ケニア。
Paris Jepchirchir.
Paris Jepchirchir is the gold medalist in the women's marathon. She's also 27 years of age. She's the mother of 4-year-old daughter Natalia. She took 13 months off after Natalia's birth. She's coached by her husband, so congratulations to Davis Njeno as well. Fabulous performance, such a small margin to win this gold medal. But that gold medal will last forever.
Mesdames et messieurs, l'hymne du Kenya.
Ladies and gentlemen, the anthem of Kenya.
皆様、ケニア国歌の演奏です。
Mesdames et messieurs, les médaillés olympiques.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Olympic
Congratulations to the Olympic medalists from the women's marathon, and indeed all of the participants of the women's marathon.
Yeah, they moved it out of Tokyo up to Sapporo with the idea that it would be cooler there and the humidity would be less and it would be better running conditions. And it just wasn't. It was equally hot. It was equally humid, just punishing conditions to try to win 26.2 miles, a shade over 42 kilometers.
And John, it was such a tight marathon as well. At the halfway mark, there was 4 runners all together, and 3 of those 4 are on the podium now.
They get about 45 seconds here in the stadium, take those masks off, so they're going to have a couple of pictures. Look like the world was a normal place when they went to the Olympics in 2021. Seidel's a terrific story. Overcame some obstacles that were away from the track. Proof, as we've seen from different athletes throughout here, that not everything that is an injury, not everything that needs to be overcome can just be iced or taped up. That it takes some care, it takes some understanding to make an athlete the best athlete they can be.
Mesdames et messieurs,
as they march off,
des vainqueurs du marathon homme.
The podium soon to be filled again, this time by those that ran the men's marathon.
続きまして男子マラソンの表彰式を行います。
That happened just this morning. These are the best marathoners in the world. It was so hard that 33 of them couldn't finish. That's how punishing the conditions were.
The medals will be presented by
メダルの贈呈は
Madame Anita L. de France, vice-présidente du CIO, États-Unis d'Amérique, olympienne, une médaille de bronze.
There to
Vice President of the IOC, United States of America, Olympian.
IOC Vice President to help present the medals.
副会長アメリカ合衆国オリンピアン銅メダル1
Accompagné by
続きまして
Lord Sebastian Coe.
And again, there to help, Lord Sebastian Coe, President of World Athletics, 2 gold medals, 2 silver medals.
World Athletics President, Great Britain,
Moscow
Olympian.
and Los Angeles in 1500, 2 silvers.
ワールドアスレティックス会長英国オリンピアン金メダル2銀メダル2
Médaille de bronze,
And when
Belgique.
Habibi Bikile won the marathon here in Tokyo 1964, he became the back-to-back marathon champion. And we have that again in Tokyo one more time. Bashir Abdi of Belgium, 2 hours and 10 minutes in those conditions to come third. He was overjoyed at the line to earn his place in Olympic history. Friend, teammate alongside him in second. It is a hard-earned bouquet.
Médaille d'argent, Pays-Bas.
Silver medalist, Netherlands.
銀メダリスト
From the Netherlands with the silver medal, Abdi Nagaya. 2:09:58. 2 seconds separating second and third. And then the top of the podium is all class. Two sides to the medal. The IOC gets the back. That's where you see Nike, the god of victory, in front of the stadium. And then the Olympic Committee gets to do as it wishes, is how it wants to design the front. Name of the event, name of the 32nd Olympiad printed on it. And now to the top step. Simply the greatest marathoner ever, Eliud Kipchoge.
Gold medalist and Olympic champion.
Gold medalist in Rio, repeats here. The man's now run 15 marathons and has won 13 of them. 2:08:38. At the 30K mark, he decided he was going to go win the Olympic gold medal, and anybody that wanted to challenge him could come with. Nobody was able to match that challenge. Inspired as a young boy by Patrick Sang. Patrick Sang, who is now his coach. Patrick Sang, who in kindergarten was taught by Eliud Kipchoge's mother. What a wonderful circle there. Only man to ever run her 2 hours for the distance. Yet it was a time trial, not exactly how everybody would have it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
But there's nobody better.
Kenya.
And one more time, the last Olympic medal ceremony, we hear the national anthem of Kenya. second gold medal. Eliud Kipchoge, the greatest marathoner ever, who says he runs to inspire, but what he does is he awes you with his running and his ability.
He is absolutely sensational. You could split his career in half, and he would probably still be the greatest of all time. His first part of his career and his second part of his career. He might not have had the greatest success on the track, but you put him on the road. I say that, he's got 2 track medals.
I was going to say, he's done all right, but not. It's hard to match what he's done. 10 world marathon major titles.
World records. Records left everywhere.
He's you know, run so many fast times in places like Berlin and like London, and I know in the United States they would dearly love to have him in New York City, which is not a marathon about time. There's no pacers. It's about really a hard place to run, a hard place to win. And I don't know that there's anything left on his resume that needs to be done, but it would be great to see him run New York City.
Well, that's exactly it. He has won in humidity. He has won at the coast. He has won at higher levels. He has won on courses that are not traditionally fast. He has run on courses with more bends than the others. He's done it all, and he's done it everywhere. There have been those Kipchoge doubters, but how he has silenced them down the years, and now doing what the great Abibi Bikila did in 60 and 64. Remarkable, sensational.
And every time I see marathoners, I think of what Mary Katani told me one time when I asked her, what do you do when it gets really hard? Because everybody has those stages in a marathon. What do you do when you know it's difficult? And she said, I just tell myself, tomorrow I have the day off. They have the day off tomorrow.
So we move from the victory ceremony to the announcement of the new members of the International Olympic Committee Athletes Commission.
Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez souhaiter la bienvenue aux nouveaux membres de la Commission des athlètes du Comité international olympique.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the new members of the International Olympic Committee Athletes Commission.
皆様、国際オリンピック委員会
Each Olympic Games, the athletes of those games get to vote in the village on the candidates.
Kenya, rugby.
And we have 3 new members.
Humphrey Kayange.
Humphrey Kayange-san.
Japon, escrime.
Japan, fencing.
Nihon, fencing.
Ota Yuki.
Ota Yuki-san.
Humphrey Kayange of Kenya, the sevens rugby player,
Italy, swimming.
is the first to be introduced and acknowledged.
While the final to be introduced is Federica Pellegrini of Italy, a 5-time Olympian for swimming, gold medalist, and Yuki Ota from Japan for fencing. She is also an Olympic medalist. And this is her 5th Olympic Games.
The tracksuits are fabulous.
So well done to Yuki Ota, Federica Pellegrini, and Humphrey Kayange.
All Olympians with various levels of success at the Olympic Games, but with much success globally in their respective sports. Yuki Ota.
Very important for the athletes to have a voice. And these 3 athletes will be representing the Olympians and having their say on everything to do with the Olympic movement. Very important. Congratulations.
les athlètes remercient maintenant tous les bénévoles, représentant les acteurs du
So we
terrain
pay
et
tribute
les
to the
acteurs de la
volunteers
ville
of the
pour leur
32nd Olympiad.
inestimable contribution aux
Of
Jeux.
course, the Paralympics are coming as well.
Thank all volunteers representing the field casts and city casts for their invaluable contribution.
51,672 Olympic volunteers, and there will be 24,514 Paralympic volunteers.
I won't speak for the two of you, but I will miss these people the most. I'll go back to work at another place 2 days from now, and there'll be more athletes. But these people who made it so easy here under such trying circumstances are just to be applauded is to sell them short for all they did.
And I think significant to note as well that as we say thank you to all volunteers, that we don't only recognise those that dealt with us directly, but there was also city volunteers who are being recognised here at Tokyo 2020.
A moment now of remembrance for all involved in the Olympic movement, to pay tribute to those that perhaps aren't with us, loved ones, and those that have touched our lives.
A man who is a giant in the world of Japanese taiko drumming. From Sato Kensaku's drumming to Yamada Aoi's performance. moment of sobriety at this celebratory stage as we remember loved ones no longer with us.
As we now take a visit around the various areas of Japan. Focusing on traditional dance. the 4 dancers that you've just seen from different parts of Japan capture the traditions and history of this nation, visually representing how uniquely long-shaped the country is. And now we focus on the stadium, on Tokyo Ondo.
Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez souhaiter la bienvenue au président du comité international olympique, Thomas Bach, la gouverneure de Tokyo, Koike Yuriko, et la maire de Paris, Anne Hidalgo.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of the International Olympic Committee, Thomas Bach, the governor of Tokyo, Koike Yuriko, and the mayor of Paris, Anne Hidalgo.
国際オリンピック委員会トーマス・バッハ会長、小池百合子東京都知事、アンネ・ヒダルゴパリ市長のご登壇です。
As we make our way toward the official handing over of the Olympic Games from the 32nd Olympiad to the 33rd Olympiad, from Tokyo to Paris.
Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez vous lever pour l'hymne olympique.
One of the most important parts of the closing ceremonies.
For the Olympic anthem.
皆様、ご起立ください。オリンピック賛歌の演奏です。
incredible performance of the Olympic anthem,
ご着席ください。
performed by a male soprano, Okamoto Tomotaka, as the Olympic flag is lowered.
Mesdames et messieurs,
Appropriate to have him as he studied both in Tokyo and in Paris.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Olympic flag handover ceremony.
オリンピック旗授受。
Represented by the Governor of Tokyo, the Mayor of Paris, and the President of the International Olympic Committee.
La gouverneure de Tokyo remet le drapeau olympique au président du Comité international olympique qui le confie ensuite à la maire de Paris, ville hôte des prochains Jeux olympiques.
The Governor of Tokyo will hand the Olympic flag to the President of the International Olympic Committee, who will then entrust the flag to the Mayor of Paris, host city of the next Olympic Games.
まずはじめに東京都知事より国際オリンピック委員会会長へオリンピック旗が渡されます。そして次回開催都市パリ市長へ渡されます。
Congratulations, Tokyo, delivering the 32nd Olympiad perfectly.
Very deliberate protocol being observed. President of the International Olympic Committee, Thomas Bach, receiving the Olympic flag that's been lowered to the sound of the Olympic anthem from the Governor of Tokyo, the host city that has been, and now handing over to the Mayor of Paris, the future host in 3 years' time, Ms. Anne Hidalgo.
First female mayor of Paris, elected in 2014 and then re-elected in 2020.
And this is one of the symbolic highlights of the closing ceremony. And the flag is set to be displayed in the town hall of Paris. It would usually be over a period of 4 years, but it will be for the next 3. Now for the national anthem of the next host.
Please stand for the national anthem of France.
皆様、
The national anthem of
ご起立くだ
France.
さい。フランス国歌の演奏です。
Raise the tricolor.
A beautiful rendition. Beautiful rendition of the French national anthem by the National Orchestra of France. As we take a tour of the rooftops of Paris.
Some of the most famous global landmarks, from the Tour Eiffel, Eiffel Tower, to the Musée d'Orsay, the Grand Palais, the Opéra Garnier, Place de l'Arc de Triomphe, the Place de la Concorde, and the Pantheon. And some of these landmarks will be transformed into stages for the world's greatest athletes.
As we go live into Paris, celebrating what will be their Olympic Games in just 3 years.
2:48 in the afternoon, and he was just here in the decathlon. Kevin Meyer, the world record holder in the decathlon, back in Paris for the celebration.
France's Alpha Jets fly over Paris, joined by two especially selected guests, Justine and Johan, who are contributors to sport in France.
wonderful historic cultural landmarks and venue. The beach volleyball will be right there in front of the Eiffel Tower in 2024.
Plus vite. Plus haut. Plus fort. Ensemble.
Greeting from President Emmanuel Macron, who was here to watch the women's 3x3 team play their first game. Penmanship.
One of the greats. How many times we saw him in a canoe? 3-time gold medalist for France.
Sets its first world record, unfurling the largest flag ever flown. It's the size of a football field. And the Tokyo Tower lights up in the colours of France.
The Skytree, the Tokyo Tower, among the great landmarks that have been used for this Tokyo 2020 Games of the 32nd Olympiad. We are now going to hear from the presidents.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hashimoto Seiko, President of the Tokyo Organizing Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games, medalist and 7-time Olympian for both Winter and Summer Olympic Games, and Thomas Bach, President of the International Olympic Committee, Olympic champion, fencing, 1976.
皆様、夏季冬季オリンピック7大会出場のメダリスト、公益財団法人東京オリンピック・パラリンピック競技大会組織委員会橋本聖子会長、そして1976年大会フェンシングオリンピックチャンピオン国際オリンピック委員会トーマス・バッハ会長をお迎えください。
First to speak, Hashimoto Seiko.
秋篠宮皇嗣殿下のご臨席を仰ぎ、ここに東京2020オリンピック競技大会の閉会を
In the presence of His Imperial Highness Prince Akishino, I hereby extend my greetings to you at the closing of the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. Tonight the curtain falls on a games of excitement and inspiration, forged by each athlete who took part. These games took place in the midst of a severe pandemic, and I would like to express my deep gratitude to all those in medical services, to everyone who supported and contributed to the games, and to our hosts, the people of Japan. Although many of the events were unfortunately held without spectators, the athletes were greeted instead by arrangements of morning glory flowers grown by school children across Japan. The morning glory vines were intertwined and resilient, as if depicting the unity of the people of the world. We were also very encouraged by the gentle bloom of the flowers and the thoughts and feelings that accompanied them. Thank you very much. To all the volunteers who supported the Games, these Olympic Games, Tokyo 2020, are a testament to your strength, your power, and your love for sport. No matter how difficult the situation, you were able to rise to the challenge and put a smile on everyone's face. Thanks to your support, we were all able to overcome so many difficulties. Thank you very much. To my fellow Olympians, there are no words to describe what you have achieved in Tokyo. You have accepted what seemed unimaginable, understood what had to be done, and through hard work and perseverance overcome unbelievable challenges. This has made you true Olympians. One athlete's jubilant victory is another's bitter defeat. Yet, in the space of an instant, winner and loser come together in the same feeling of acknowledgement and respect. This is the beauty of the Olympic Games. This is the value of the Olympic spirit. Please never forget that sight. And in the future, tell the story of what you achieved here with confidence and pride. Even as the Games close, a new door opens. A door to the future, opened by athletes and the power of sport. Sport has the power to change the world and our future. And this power, I believe, will carry us through to the next Summer Games in Paris 2024. Tonight, the Olympic flame that has lit up Tokyo will quietly go out. But the hope that has been ignited here will never be extinguished. It will remain a light in the hearts of people all over the world as we continue to hope for peace in the spirit of Ekecheria, a tradition unbroken from the ancient Olympic Games. Our journey continues. Athletes around the world have believed in their own potential and overcome adversity to become Paralympic hopefuls. Now it is time for them to make their mark. We at Tokyo 2020 are ready and waiting for the Paralympic Games. Finally, I would like to say thank you to President Bach and all members of the International Olympic Committee, the government of Japan, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government, and everyone else who supported these Games. Thank you so very much. Athletes and people of the world, we hope to welcome you here again someday. See you in Tokyo. Thank you and good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining the president of the IOC on stage are medalists and chef de mission of the Olympic Games in Tokyo. Representing Asia, Abe Uta, Judo, 1 gold and 1 silver.
Abe Uta, a judoka, a gold medalist, a silver medalist.
Sifan Hassan, athletics, 2 gold and 1
Sifan
bronze.
Hassan, who won 2 gold medals and a bronze, completing the 1,500 meter, 10,000 meter double, a unique double.
Samuel Taki, boxing, 1
Samuel
bronze.
Tachi, the Ghanaian boxer who picked up a bronze medal, represents an entire continent.
Representing the Americas, Jasmine Camacho Quinn, athletics.
Jasmine Camacho Quinn, gold medalist, who rather remarkably in this venue won Puerto Rico's second gold medal. And Rusila Nagasao
and
represents Oceania,
their chef de mission, Tegla Lorupe.
Rugby Sevens medalist. The chef de mission of the refugee Olympic team, Tegla Lorupe, also joins the president of the IOC on stage.
Your Imperial Highness the Crown Prince, dear Olympic friends around the world, Tokyo no minasama, soshite Nippon no minasama.
Good evening, Tokyo. Good evening, Japan.
Dear athletes, over the last 16 days, you amazed us with your sporting achievements, with your excellence, with your joy, with your tears. You created the magic of these Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. You were faster, you went higher, you were stronger, because we all stood together in solidarity. You were competing fiercely with each other for Olympic glory. At the same time, you were living peacefully together under one roof in the Olympic Village. This is a powerful message of solidarity and peace. You inspired us with this unifying power of sport. This is even more remarkable given the many challenges you had to face because of the pandemic. In these difficult times, you give the world the most precious of gifts, hope. For the first time since the pandemic began, the entire world came together. Sport returned to center stage. Billions of people around the globe were united by emotion, sharing moments of joy and inspiration. This gives us hope. This gives us faith in the future. The Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 are the Olympic Games of hope, solidarity, and peace. You, the best athletes of the world, could only make your Olympic dream come true because Japan prepared the stage for you to shine. You, the Japanese people, can be extremely proud of what you have achieved. On behalf of all the athletes, we say, thank you, Tokyo. Thank you, Japan. A special thanks goes to all the volunteers. The smiles in your eyes have warmed our hearts. Subite no volunteer no minasama, makoto ni arigato gozaimashita.
A big thank you to all the volunteers.
Yes, these were unprecedented Olympic Games. It took us, the IOC, and our Japanese partners and friends, an equally unprecedented effort to make them happen. This is why I would like to thank the Japanese authorities at all levels, in particular Prime Minister Suga Yoshihide, and Governor Koiko Yuriko for their steadfast commitment. Thank you for staying with us on the side of the athletes who were longing so much for these Olympic Games. Our deep gratitude and appreciation go to the organizing committee. Nobody has ever organized postponed Olympic Games before. Thank you to its president, my dear fellow Olympian Hashimoto Seiko, and to all the dedicated people in the organizing committee for your great partnership and your wonderful friendship. The same is true for the solidarity demonstrated by everyone in our Olympic community. Our warm thanks go to the national Olympic committees, the international federations, our top partners, sponsors, and rights-holding broadcasters for their truly outstanding show of unity and support. We did it like athletes and for the athletes. We did it together. And now I have to mark the end of this most challenging Olympic journey. I declare the Games of the 32nd Olympiad closed. Conformément à la tradition, j'ai convié la jeunesse du monde
with tradition,
à assembler dans
I
3
call
ans
upon the youth of the
à Paris
world to assemble
France,
3 years from now in
pour y
Paris,
célébrer
France,
avec nous le jeu de la 33e
to celebrate with us the Games
Olympiade.
of the 33rd
Au revoir
Olympiad.
à Paris. See you in Paris. Thank you very much.
赤い目玉のサソリ赤い目玉のサソリ広げたわしの翼青い目玉の子犬光の蛇のトンロオリオンは高くない梅雨と霜と落とすアンドロメダの雲は魚の口の形
members of the Suganami Junior Choir joining Otaki Shinobu in a song about the different constellations that appeared in the sky during different seasons. As the cauldron holding the Olympic flame, watching over the athletes of the 32nd Olympiad over 17 days of glory, is extinguished.
And there's also
will come, it's all temporary. I can be legendary.
to look forward to the Paralympic Games. The excitement certainly building, plenty of anticipation for its opening on the 24th of August. Very much a part of Tokyo 2020. The Olympic Games is done. The Paralympic Games, the focus now as the pyrotechnic display ultimately presents us with the final chapter, the next chapter of Tokyo 2020.
Well, every 4 years, sometimes the 5th, the flame goes out, but it burns within every single athlete that longs to get back here, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
As we say, arigato gozaimasu, minasan. Thank you, Tokyo, for hosting us.
A privilege to cover this event, to be here, opening ceremonies, closing ceremonies.
Tell me your story and I'll tell you mine.
Chers athlètes, merci de demeurer sur la scène jusqu'à ce que vous soyez invités à vous rendre vers la sortie.
Dear athletes, please remain on the field of play until you are directed to depart.
アスリートの皆さん、出発の案内があるのでフィールド内でお待ちください。
Mesdames et messieurs, merci d'être venus ce soir à la cérémonie de clôture des Jeux Olympiques de Tokyo 2020. Nous espérons que vous avez passé une soirée formidable. Nous vous souhaitons un bon retour chez vous et de bien profiter des Jeux Paralympiques de Tokyo 2020 à partir du 25 août.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the closing ceremony of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. We hope you had a great evening. Please have a safe trip home and enjoy.
So this has been a spectacular Games during an unprecedented time, and we have had so many glorious moments, but this was a moving, poignant, meaningful Games that really lit up the world from Tokyo at a time when the world needed this stimulation, something captivating, something utterly inspiring.
It's the games that nearly were not, actually were. And they were phenomenal. Tense, exciting, record-breaking, legacy-making, quieter than the past and what we remember, right? But we watched this knowing the crowds will be back in the future. They'll be here. We will be, again, as we said, games for the world, by the world.
And a host nation filled with pride that have delivered the beautiful Olympic Games and now play host to the Paralympic Games.
16 days of the most glorious competition, that ultimate global grade Olympic gold that we have seen, that we have witnessed, and we go from the Olympic Games. That might not have happened. The memories will last forever, however. Our hearts are full. Thank you, Tokyo.
Arigato, my friends.